Atlantis, a mysterious city, a lost civilization that has been haunting the imaginations of researchers, writers, and conspiracy theorists for thousands of years. But this mystery began with the pen of one man, the ancient Greek philosopher Plato. Plato first spoke of Atlantis in his two dialogues, Timaeus and Critias, around 360 BC. He claimed that Atlantis was a powerful island kingdom that sank into the sea about 9,000 years ago in a terrible natural disaster. According to Plato's description, Atlantis was a powerful empire. Its armies occupied many parts of Europe and Africa. The city was highly advanced in technology and architecture. The gods destroyed them because they became morally weak. Where was this city? This question is still at the center of people's curiosity today. Some say Atlantis was in Doñana National Park near Spain, some say in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, or some say under the ice of Antarctica or on the island of Santorini in Greece. Is it real or fiction? Many believe that Plato's Atlantis is merely a political allegory that teaches morality, pride, and fall. On the other hand, many researchers and explorers believe that there is some truth hidden behind it. However, Atlantis is not just a story of a lost city. It is a cultural and historical mystery, which is an extraordinary combination of the history and imagination of human civilization.
According to Plato, Atlantis was a city that is beyond imagination even in modern times. Not an island, but a vast empire. Its main city was built in a circular design, which was a marvel of engineering. The structure of the city. The capital of Atlantis was surrounded by water, formed by 3 water wheels. In the center of the city were the royal palace, temples, and warships. There were canals, bridges, and roads all around so that boats could go from one end of the city to the other. The circular design of the city is a combination of nature and technology. Source of wealth. Atlantis was very rich. They had huge amounts of gold, silver, and copper. There was a special metal, orcahiculum, which was the second most precious metal at the time and was used in walls, floors, and temples. The city's market was always full of trade with countless goods and goods. Technology and development. They knew how to control water. They built vast canals and waterways for agriculture and city management. The agricultural fields were well organized, planned, and full of crops. They had a well-organized army and weapons, which proves that they were not only peaceful, but also once a formidable attacking force. Water and natural beauty. Atlantis was surrounded by a blue sea, and inside there were clear reservoirs, springs, and canals. There were hot and cold springs, which were used for bathing, drinking, and beauty. There was a perfect harmony between man and nature in this city. A symbol of a golden civilization. Atlantis was like a city of dreams wrapped in gold, a heavenly union of science, art, nature, and opulence. But this dream did not last long. According to Plato, Atlantis was a city that is beyond imagination even in modern times. Not an island, but a vast empire. Its main city was built in a circular design, which was a marvel of engineering. The structure of the city. The capital of Atlantis was surrounded by water, formed by 3 water wheels. In the center of the city were the royal palace, temples, and warships. There were canals, bridges, and roads all around so that boats could go from one end of the city to the other. The circular design of the city is a combination of nature and technology. Source of wealth. Atlantis was very rich. They had huge amounts of gold, silver, and copper. There was a special metal, orcahiculum, which was the second most precious metal at the time and was used in walls, floors, and temples. The city's market was always full of trade with countless goods and goods. Technology and development. They knew how to control water. They built vast canals and waterways for agriculture and city management. The agricultural fields were well organized, planned, and full of crops. They had a well-organized army and weapons, which proves that they were not only peaceful but also once a formidable attacking force. Water and natural beauty. Atlantis was surrounded by a blue sea, and inside there were clear reservoirs, springs and canals. There were hot and cold springs, which were used for bathing, drinking and beauty. There was a perfect harmony between man and nature in this city, a symbol of a golden civilization. Atlantis was like a city of dreams wrapped in gold, a heavenly union of science, art, nature and opulence. But this dream did not last long.
How did such a developed, prosperous, and powerful civilization like Atlantis suddenly disappear? This is one of the most mysterious questions in history. Plato said in his dialogue, Critias, "The people of Atlantis were initially just, virtuous, and godlike in character, but gradually they became greedy, arrogant, and morally weak." According to Plato, the wrath of God, the ruler of Atlantis, was a descendant of the sea god Poseidon. But over time, people started thinking of themselves as stronger than the gods. Then the gods decided that this arrogant nation should be taught a lesson. One night, suddenly, a terrible earthquake, tsunami, and volcanic eruption completely submerged the city into the sea. In one terrible night and one terrible day, Atlantis was destroyed. This was the description in Plato's words. Natural disaster or war? Although Plato's explanation mainly attributes it to the wrath of God and the revenge of nature, many researchers also suggest other possibilities. 1. Natural disaster explanation. Some say it could have been a massive volcanic eruption such as the Thera eruption on the island of Santorini. Some say the entire island was submerged due to a tsunami or earthquake. Such a disaster could have destroyed ancient civilizations in an instant, such as Pompeii, Harappa, or the Minoan civilization. War and internal collapse. Many believe that Atlantis may have been involved in conflicts with other nations. External invasions, weak leadership, and internal divisions in society could have been the causes of the fall. Destruction in a metaphorical sense. Plato's explanation may not be entirely realistic, but rather a moral lesson where he wanted to show that power and pride lead to the downfall of man. Where was Atlantis? This is the question that has been swirling in the minds of historians, archaeologists, scientists, and mystery lovers for centuries. Plato said in his writings that Atlantis was beyond the Pillars of Hercules, Gibraltar, that is, in today's Atlantic Ocean. But while conducting actual research, researchers have claimed various places as possible Atlantis. Let's see which places have been considered as possible Atlantis. 1. Atlantic Ocean. According to Plato's description, Atlantis was in the Atlantic Ocean. Many say that an island or land of today may have been here in the past, which was later submerged due to earthquakes or plate tectonics. Some research has said that strange formations or lines have been seen on the seabed, which may indicate an ancient city. 2. Santorini, Thera, Greece. A massive volcanic eruption on the island of Thera destroyed the entire Minoan civilization around 1600 BC. Many researchers believe that Plato's Atlantis is actually a metaphor for the Minoan civilization. On the island's circular shape, volcanic eruptions, and the city surrounded by the sea make it a likely candidate. 3. The Bahamas and the Bimini Triangle. A natural rock formation known as Bimini Road has been found on the seabed near the Bahamas, which looks like a man-made road. Many say that it may be the ruins of Atlantis. In addition, many mysterious events have occurred in the Bimini Triangle area, which is called the area of lost civilizations. 4. Sahara Desert, Eye of the Sahara. In the Sahara of Mauritania, there is a large circular natural formation called the Eye of the Sahara. It looks a lot like Plato's description, a circular city surrounded by mountains with a center in the middle. Many say that it may have been Atlantis, which over time turned into a desert. Research and controversy. No place has yet been conclusively proven. Some believe that Plato's story is completely fictional, while others say that he wrote based on old folk tales and events which are now lost. Modern technology is being used to analyze the seafloor and satellite imagery, but nothing can be said for sure.
Atlantis is not just an ancient city. It has become the focus of modern mystery and conspiracy theories. Many researchers, YouTubers, and conspiracy analysts around the world believe that the civilization of Atlantis was so advanced that it was impossible for humanity to achieve it alone. According to them, the help of extraterrestrial beings, aliens, was behind this. The alien help theory, the technological advances of Atlantis, such as a vast canal system, powerful weapons, advanced agriculture, and the unknown metal, or Qualcomm, are considered cutting edge by many. These technologies were so advanced compared to other civilizations on the ancient world that some researchers believe that aliens from outer space gave them this knowledge. UFO connections and ancient technology. Some UFO researchers believe that Atlantis was an alien base from which communication with Earth was maintained. Strange magnetic signatures and electromagnetic disturbances under the Atlantic Ocean are often associated with UFO sightings. Some studies claim that the Atlanteans used powers that could control gravity or time, something that is still scientifically impossible. Psychic powers and mystical abilities. According to the famous clairvoyant Edgar Cayce, the Atlanteans were skilled in telepathy, levitation, and energy control. According to Cayce, they used crystal technology with which they absorbed and transmitted energy, much like modern laser or microwave technology. Government secrets and cover-ups, possibly? Some conspiracy theories claim that modern governments and organizations, such as NASA or the Pentagon, know about Atlantean or alien connections, but are hiding the information. Some researchers claim that Atlantis-related satellite imagery, seafloor analysis, or data have been kept classified.
Atlantis was lost thousands of years ago. Why are people still searching for this mysterious city with such interest? The answer lies in human curiosity, imagination, and the desire to regain a lost golden age. Atlantis is like a symbol, a perfect civilization that once existed and may be found again in the future. The desire to regain something lost. It is human nature. We want to find what we lose. Atlantis paints a picture in our minds of an ideal society where technology, abundance, and morality coexisted. It is like a kind of nostalgia, something that may have existed but was lost, and the desire to bring back that past still persists today. Modern research and technology. In the present era, scientists are using satellite images, geophysical sensors, deep-sea scanners, and sonar technology to search for possible ancient cities on the ocean floor. Many have claimed, analyzing Google Earth or NASA data, that traces of the city have been found under the Atlantic Ocean or the Sahara. Role of documentaries, series, and media. Platforms like History Channel, National Geographic, and Netflix have produced many documentaries titled Searching for Atlantis, Ancient Aliens, or The Lost City. This content is increasing the interest of a new generation and bringing research to the masses. Searches of archaeologists and geologists. Scientists are identifying potential sites by analyzing geological time periods, sea level rise, and volcanic activity, combining data from Plato. Some researchers have conducted real searches in the Eye of the Sahara and found possible ruins. Atlantis is not a mystery, it is an inspiration. It is not just the story of a city, it is a question mark, a desire, a door to possibility. Some consider it a symbol of the teachings of the past, while others consider it a place to find the strength of the future.
The story of Atlantis began with Plato's writings about 2400 years ago, but that story is not over yet. Time has passed, civilization has advanced, technology has changed, yet the mystery of Atlantis remains unsolved. Because Atlantis is not just the name of a city, it is the imagination of an ideal society, the search for a future, and an eternal lesson that pride and moral decline can destroy a civilization. What do we learn from Atlantis? No matter how great the power, if there is no morality, it cannot last. If you neglect the power of nature, it will take revenge one day. Every lost thing will eventually return as a valuable lesson. Plato's philosophical message. Plato may have really been talking about a real civilization, or maybe the whole thing was a metaphor to teach society a lesson, but he left us with a question. If we don't learn from the mistakes of the past, the Atlantis of the future will also sink one day. The last mystery or the last inspiration. Atlantis is still lost today, maybe underwater, maybe in the pages of history, maybe in the imagination of people. But its search continues today because people always chase the unknown, and that chase may be the real power of our civilization. In the end, Atlantis is not just a lost city, it is a mirror of our inner truth, potential, and civilization.